everybody, welcome to the channel. Now, I've had a number of people ask me about graphic novels. They've asked about my collection, about reviews and recommendations, and they've asked me to do videos on graphic novels. So I thought, fair enough, let's try doing a video on graphic novels. Now, instead of doing just one particular one, I thought maybe I'd do a video on a series of graphic novels, in this case Marvel Comics Epic Collection. Now I'm going to try and do this without waffling on too much, but if you watch my videos, well, let's see how we get on, because there's a certain amount of information I want to get over to you. So firstly, which characters are published as part of Marvel's Epic Collection? Well, it seems to be Marvel's, I guess, most popular characters, with several others thrown in. So we get Spidey, we've got Captain America, Iron Man, we have Hulk, Daredevil, Punisher, we've got Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Thor, Wolverine, and several others. We also have teams. We've got the Avengers, we have the X-Men, the New Mutants, Fantastic Four, we've got the Defenders, and we've also got Power Man and Iron Fist, who are otherwise known as Luke Cage and Danny Rand. Now, in addition to these, we've got some maybe lesser known titles, such as Moon Knight, Conan, Master of Kung Fu, and Star Wars. In fact, if you're a Star Wars fan, there's about 30 volumes, I think, of Star Wars, so if you're interested in collecting the Star Wars comics, it's a good place to get them. So those are some of the characters that are published in the Epic Collection series. What about the actual volumes themselves? Well, in a normal graphic novel you'd get, I would say, maybe about 5 issues worth of material, 5-6 issues, unless it's a volume that is publishing a complete story, and then obviously you would get all the appropriate issues for that story, including any tie-in issues. These you tend to get 19 or 20 issues worth of material. Now, page wise, the ones I've got about 14, 15. Page wise, they tend to be about 480 to 500 pages each. Now, that's a lot of material. You tend to get roughly, as I say, 19, 20 issues, and they run. So volume 1, you will get issue 1 to 20, volume 2, 21 to 40, volume 3, 41 to 60. Now, you may not just get issues from that title. You may get other issues that they think are relevant. You may get crossover issues with other characters. You may get issues of other titles that are relevant to that particular run of that character. You may get a completely different title. For example, Iron Man, when he started, he wasn't in Iron Man, he was in Tales of Suspense. So the first issues of Iron Man will be issues of Tales of Suspense. Now, as I said, they start with basically issue 1, volume 1, issue 1 to 19 or 20, whatever, so on and so on. However, 2 things to note. One is that they don't publish them in order, and 2, they do seem to miss certain volumes out. Now, from what I understand, the reason they are not publishing them in order is because they don't want to just start at the beginning of the 60s and then work their way through the 60s and then the 70s and then the 80s. They are jumping backwards and forwards to different periods of that character. So you will get different eras of that character with different writers, with different artists, different story arcs going on from one volume to the next. The reason why they are skipping out certain volumes is they are ignoring for the moment anything that is currently in print or is available. They are concentrating on the stuff that is not currently in print, and when they have got through all that, I guess they're going to go back and bring out new editions of the stuff that has already been printed. Now, that all being said, let's have a look at a couple of volumes and see what sort of stuff we get in them. So let's have a look at the first volume of Amazing Spider-Man first and see what we get with Spidey. Now I believe, just check inside it, we get the first 17 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. And in addition to this, we also get issue 15 of Amazing Fantasy, which is actually the very first appearance of Spider-Man, and this is where Peter Parker gets his spider powers, and it is also the issue where we get the now famous scene where Uncle Ben is killed by a mugger because of Spider-Man's kind of indifference to stopping the mugger earlier on. And I believe it's also the first time we get the use of the phrase, "with great power comes great responsibility." Now, in addition to that, we also get the very first Amazing Spider-Man Annual, number 1, which features the first appearance of the Sinister Six. Now, what else do we get in this? Well, we get a lot of firsts. We get, for example, we get the first appearance of the Vulture. We get the first appearance of Dr. Octopus. We have got the first appearance of the Sandman. We have the first appearance of the Lizard. We have the first appearance of Electro. We have the first appearance of Mysterio, which is interesting because Mysterio obviously is in this year's new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Far From Home. And we also have the first appearances by the Green Goblin and by Kraven the Hunter. Now, in addition to these, we've got some return appearances as well. I think the Vulture returns at one point, and Dr. Octopus and I believe the Green Goblin returns for second issues. We also have several appearances by other characters. Now, we've obviously got Spider-Man supporting characters such as J. Jonah Jameson cropping up, but we also have appearances by characters such as the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom, the Hulk, and Daredevil. So that is some of the material that we get in the first volume of Amazing Spider-Man. A lot of first appearances there from a lot of classic Spidey villains. Now, what about, what have we got there? Avengers, is that? Okay, here's the first volume of Avengers. So let's have a look in this team book and see what we get in here. So I can see we get, this is basically the first 20 issues of the Avengers, starting in September 1963 and going up to September 1965. So we have got the very first issue of Avengers with the very first Avengers team, featuring the Mighty Thor, Iron Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the Incredible Hulk, who start out obviously against Loki. Now we have a particularly important issue, which is Avengers issue 4, which is the one where they discover the frozen body of Captain America. and Captain America is of course revived and joins the Avengers himself. Kang the Conqueror appears in issue 8, which I think that's Kang's first appearance, and there are rumours that once the Marvel Cinematic Universe have finished with the Thanos storyline, that possibly Kang is going to be the next big villain. Whether that turns out to be the case or not, we shall have to wait and see. We have the first appearance by future Avenger Wonder Man. We have the very first issue in which we get a new team of Avengers, where we have Hawkeye putting in an appearance, who previously was a villain, and he's turned up here saying he wants to be a good guy. And we also have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who previously were part of Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, who also turn up wanting to turn over a new leaf and become Avengers. So we get a new team of Avengers: Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver and Hawkeye. And then we have an appearance by the Swordsman, who turns out to be the person that trained Hawkeye. So there we are. That is some of the material from the first volume of Avengers. Now, price wise, these cost in Britain about £30. In America I believe that's about $35. However, all the ones I have I bought on Amazon from Amazon Marketplace sellers. That's the bookshops and so on that sell their books through Amazon, and I think majority of mine I've got for about £20 each, and one of them, I forget which one, I even got for about £10, and this is still brand new volumes I'm talking about. This is not like used ones that people have read and then sold. So if you want to go and check any of these out, Amazon I would say is the place to go and have a look. So there we go, that is the Marvel Epic Collection. So there we go, that was my first graphic novels video. I may do some more in the future, maybe collections again, maybe single volumes, who knows, we shall have to see. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up below. You can follow me on Instagram for photo updates, possibly including some of these items. And if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, any openings, unboxings, merchandise reviews, whatever else I get up to, then hit the subscribe button. And hopefully I will see you in the next one.